উনি বেশি পরিচিত, আপনারা সবাই জানেন আমাদের রামকৃষ্ণ মাতৃভবন হাসপাতালে উনি সম্পাদিকা ছিলেন 54 বছর। একাধিক করেছিলেন, তারপর 2009-তে উনি প্রেসিডেন্ট হয়েছেন মঠে সত্যবাদী বিপ্লবের পর। আর এই বছরে গত বছর 11 ডিসেম্বর উনি শহীদ রেখেছিলেন। ঠিক 1 বছর পরে প্রথম আজকে তার স্মৃতিতে বক্তৃতা হচ্ছে। বক্তৃতা দেবেন আমাদের মাতৃভবনেরই অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট সেক্রেটারি প্রভ্রাজিকা অলকপ্রানা মাতাজি। উনি ওখানে ওই দায়িত্বেই আছেন, বড়মার দায়িত্বেই আছেন এবং অনেক দিন তার সঙ্গে করেছেন বলে আমি তাকে অনুরোধ করেছিলাম প্রথম বক্তৃতাটা তুমি দাও। বড়মাকে আমি দেখেছিলাম, বড়মাকে আমি দেখেছি অনেক কিছুদিন করবো করেছিলাম 2.5 বছরের জীবনে। তোমার তখন খুবই ছেলে মানুষ, আনুষ্ঠানিক ব্রহ্মচর্য হয়নি, কিন্তু অফিসে কাজ করতাম বলে ওনার কর্মজীবনটা আমি দেখেছিলাম যে একটা নিরলস কর্মী, এত শান্ত সংযত। আমার সেটা খুব ইন্টারেস্ট হয়েছিল। আর অনেক গুণ আছে মাতাজি, সেই প্রসঙ্গে আপনি অলকপ্রানা মাতাজি আমাদের কাছে স্মৃতিচারণা করবেন। খুবই কর্মব্যস্ত, উনি রাজি হয়েছে এটাই আমাদের ভাগ্য।
With my respectful pronouns to Sri Sri Thakur, Sri Sri Ma and Swamiji, I will start this discussion. I will be talking in English because I am not very conversant in the Bengali language. So I hope you will excuse me for this transmission. But I will make my English as simple as possible. And I will not be taking this as a lecture because the whole purpose of this discussion is that I got the golden opportunity of being with Boloma. And what we learned at the end of it is that if something of that high spiritual nature can be imbibed by us, then our life also can evolve. What did Swami Vivekananda, if you see, there is a whole lot of Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature. In our own lifetime, it is not possible to read all the books. But if you just read 2 lines of Swami Vivekananda's philosophy, an idea, and follow it in your life, that is more than sufficient. Now in our case, Bolama, as far as we are concerned, she is a Brahmagyani, a realized soul. And what we have found is, for me, her life was a beautiful combination of work, karma yoga, spiritual austerity, and self-effacement. Now, these 3 things, when you think about all this, it's very difficult. Majority of you people here are householders who have come. Majority of you are devotees who have got yourself close to the Ramakrishna movement with the ideals of Thakur, Ma and Swamiji. So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do this thing? You say, how is it possible to bring both of these lives together? A life of work and a life of spirituality. It is extremely difficult. Karma yoga and Jnana yoga, to combine both of these yogas is extremely difficult. But I will tell you, Bolama's life showed us in no simple terms how it is possible to do it. Because we also get frustrated. We come to this organization to lead a spiritual life. Then in the end we get immersed in duties. From morning to night we are busy with the hospital work. Sometimes we think, where do we get the time for meditation? then how is it? Is meditation life different? Is the work life different? Where do they coordinate? Now working with Boroma, moving around closely with Boroma, I began to understand how both of these lives can be merged. Because at the end of the day, you have got yourself to answer. Have I evolved spiritually? Have I become a better human being? This is what we are here for. We are not here for comparison and competition with other people. Have I become a better human being? That is what we are here for. That is what we want to imbibe into our own lives. Now I take this as an opportunity to thank Dhriti Praranji for asking me to come over and to discuss Boroma's life with you. It is a discussion because it is an open flow discussion. I also told Mataji at the end of it, if there's anything you particularly want to ask, because it is a very noble life. These lives are extremely rare. So if it is something you want to ask about her life, yes, very willing to answer the questions. And meanwhile, what I have divided, the discussion will be in 3 parts. Why 3 parts? One thing is, I'm going to talk first about the formation of Sri Sarada Math, because Boroma was an integral part of the Sarada Math. Her name has gone down in the history of the organization. So in that way, Boroma's life, without mentioning Sarada Math and its formation, would not be complete. Secondly, what are the sterling qualities of Boroma that we can imbibe? Obviously, we cannot imbibe all the qualities, otherwise we will also be another Boroma. So point is, what are the qualities that she showed in her life that are worth emulating? Thirdly, my own reminiscences of Boroma with the time that I spent with her. And lastly, but not the least, the time that she was the president of the order. That was a different Boroma. I saw both the Boromas, the work Boroma and the Boroma who was one with the divine. It surprised me how these highly evolved souls, how they keep on evolving from one stage to another. You really get very surprised. At the end of it, I realized for her to evolve from a karma yogin in Matri Bhavan, where nothing she did not observe or get involved in, and then she becomes the president of the order, where she becomes part of humanity. Part of humanity, why? She feels for every human being. The love emanates to every human being. That you can only do if you have self-surrendered to Holy Mother. I'm saying Holy Mother because Thakur Ma Swamiji, they're one and the same entity. So I keep on repeating Holy Mother. But in her life I saw from the very beginning complete surrender to Holy Mother. And I'm telling you, every one of you, in our life, including yours, it's not only a sadhu life, anybody's life. Unless we learn to completely surrender and love Holy Mother the way they did, at the terminal stage of your life, there's no fear because you're one with the Divine Mother. So now I will try and go through stages of this so that you also can understand how can I evolve my own life, so that I also can see how I can dedicate my life and surrender my life to Holy Mother. Now Swamiji wrote to Swami Shivanandaji, Mother has been born to revise the Shakti in India and making her the nucleus. Once more will Gadis and Maitris be born into the world. Without the grace of Shakti, nothing is to be accomplished. Hence, we must first build a mat per mother. So from the beginning, Swami Vivekananda realized that if one has to raise the masses, he's talking initially about the masses in India. What did he see? Womankind were not treated properly and poverty. These were the two. So what he did was education and raising the standard of the women. That is, you can see women's empowerment. It's a very, very important issue. And women's empowerment is one of the ideals of Sarada and Ramakrishna's Sarada mission. Because once you bring up the women of the nation, what are you doing? The women are the people who are the pivot rulers of this family. In their hand are the future citizens of India. So once you train a woman properly in the correct spiritual tradition of India, you will find that you have got wonderful future citizens of India. So this is what Swamiji from the beginning, he says, for me, a women's mat is more important than a men's mat. But during his time, he could not do it. He brought Sister Nivedita along to start to mold it, but it did not come into the shape of a mat. But then, in the presence of 8 dedicated workers, this came into fruition. Now in October 1920, Boroma was known as Kalyani, Boro Kalyani. You people here who have been very close to CIT, that's a Chotu Kalyani. So she was known as Boro Kalyani. But we always knew Boroma as Boroma. Now she was born in the area of Shambazar to Sri Trijendranath Bandyopadhyaya, who was the divisional superintendent in the Eastern Railways, and her mother was Srimati Shobana Devi. She was actually an initiated disciple of Swami Shivanandaji. Now what you will notice is that Boroma's family background, the paternal and maternal uncles were all associated with the Ramakrishna order. 2 of the uncles, one was Swami Dayanandaji Maharaj, Gopal Maharaj, and another one Swami Abhinanandaji Maharaj, Haricharan Maharaj. They were in close association with the family. So you can understand Boroma's home atmosphere was extremely pure. So once you see, you are actually there in close association with the Ramakrishna order. So this only led to Boroma also having, she has met majority of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, which is extremely fortunate. It is the karma, Shubha karma. And then she started her schooling in Golima's Saradeshwari. Golima is the direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. So they are also a very good grounding for her. Golima was Thakurma. Then she goes to a Hindu school, Hindu girls' school. So here she had the privilege of moving very closely with the Maharajas associated with Sri Ramakrishna, and moreover, she was initiated by Swami Vidyanandaji Maharaj. Now what we come to is that the latter part of her life, after education, schooling and all that, in 1932, you'll be surprised, Boroma was nothing but 13 to 14 years old. So at that age, her urge to lead a life of renunciation was very strong, because she came from a very strong family background that was spiritually orientated. In 1932, Swami Dayanandaji established Shishu Mangal. Now Shishu Mangal was not in its present situation. It was in Bakul Bagan. So where they also noticed these up and coming young girls. Then he made up his mind that Boroma should be taught nursing. And Boroma, very shy, reticent, she's a young girl, she immediately ran and hid herself under a cot. Then Swami Dayananda Maharaj, mind you, he is a very stalwart sadhu. He says, whatever it is, I am going to make Boroma a great stature that people all around will be in awe in the way she has molded herself, which is true. Later on you will see, Boroma is very simple, but you cannot understand the depth of her spirituality. Many people were attracted to her. So this is a Swami Dayananda Maharaj, a person of that stalwart Maharaj, saying something about Boroma in her childhood. He sees her at the beginning stage. So he also could see the future, what this person will grow out to be. In 36-37, Kalyani became a registered nurse under the West Bengal Nursing Council, and she passed out with merit. It is not a joke, because she's so dedicated in her work, she gives her whole mind to whatever she does. Then in 1938, her guru came to lay the foundation of Shishu Mangal. It was called Shishu Mangal, now it is Ramakrishna Mission Seva Tirtha. Soon as she heard, she ran from Bakul Mangal to Shishu Mangal and was there. Maharaj was not well. So from the vehicle, he gave the sanctified brick plus argya to Omkareshwara Niti Maharaj to go and place it in the foundation site. She saw it, she got the blessings of her guru, but that was the last time she saw him. Next time, she goes in 1939 for the inauguration of the new hospital, which was done by the present President Swami Virajanandaji Maharaj. 1940, up to 1940, Boroma served in Shishu Mangal Hospital, and Swami Dayanandaji Maharaj, seeing her responsibility, her urge for taking responsibility, wanted her to have a good, responsible job in Sarada. But Boroma thought otherwise. From the beginning, she had developed an intense longing for an ascetic life. So she told her uncles, they were all sadhus, that she wants to leave the hospital and lead an ashram life. So they helped her. And she went to Taki Ashram. Taki Ashram, slowly you will find out, with the help and the guidance of the Maharajas, Swami Vivekananda's ideals were incorporated into that ashram. Morning to night, either bhajans or japa, meditation, classes, everything were going on. Slowly a group of young girls came and joined this Taki Ashram, who were going to be the future nuns of Sri Sarada. And they shifted, later on they shifted to Calcutta because they wanted further education. The leader of this group was Pravrajika Bhaktiprana. So all of them shifted to Shanti Ashram in Sarada Ashram in Calcutta for further education. Then having the foresight, Bhaktiprana having the foresight, she realized that if Sarada Ashram becomes too independent and not dependent on Ramakrishna mission, then it might not evolve the way it should evolve. So, with the help of the Ramakrishna movement, Sarada Ashram became part of Sister Nivedita Girls High School. Now, Sister Nivedita Girls School was a branch center of the Ramakrishna mission. Once Sarada Ashram was merged into Sister Nivedita Girls School, this group of young girls, they were sent by the Maharajas to various branch centers. Boroma was sent to the new hospital. By this time, Matri Bhavan had come into existence. Matri Bhavan actually was a donation by Sri Ram Prasad Roy. He said that it should be a maternity hospital in his will. And accordingly he had given some property plus cash. So it became an independent hospital. But what I will tell you, there are two hospitals. At first, Dayanandaji Maharaj wanted to incorporate it into Sarada. Sarada also has got a wheel as a maternity hospital. Matribhavan also has got a wheel as a maternity hospital. So you can't change those wheels. But then the foresight of the authorities of Belur, they kept Matribhavan separately with an idea that this will be given over to the future Sarada. She started working at the early stage itself as a brahmacharini. She was not yet a full brahmacharini then, but she was under the guidance of Swami Gyanatmanandaji Maharaj, who was there from 50 to 51, then from 50 to 54, Atma Prakashanandaji Maharaj, Priya Maharaj, and on 1954, on the tragic demise of Priya Maharaj, Borma took over as the secretary of Matribhavan. Actually, even at present, Matribhavan is Ramakrishna Sarada Mission Matribhavan. But there's one plaque we have preserved. The public can't see, but we know where it is written Ramakrishna Mat Matribhavan. We have not disposed of that marble plaque. We have kept preserved it, but we know where it is. Although it is now officially Ramakrishna Sarada Mission Matribhavan. Regarding the foundation of Saradama Dakshineshwar, I told you there was a group of young girls who were now going to be the core group for formation of Saradama. 1953-1954 was the centenary celebration of Holy Mother. Belur authorities decided at that present moment, Swami Shankharanandaji was the president, and the 7 dedicated women workers who were a branch center of Belur, they were ordained with brahmacharya. Then in 1954, now these 7 brahmacharinis, who will guide them? They, Shankharanandaji Maharaj literally begged Bharati. She is known as Bharati Pranaji, but actually her name is Sarada Devi. Sarada Devi was actually a close, very close associate of Holy Mother. So for her it was this one. She knew the thinking, everything of Holy Mother, and the terminal illness of Holy Mother. Sarada Devi herself served Holy Mother. And it was Holy Mother during her time sent her for nursing training. In Dublin College, she was one of the first people who passed out as a registered nurse. At that time, Golapma and all that came on running down Holy Mother. Don't send her to such a nursing profession, it's not a good profession and all that. So Holy Mother said, why? She will only serve us, who is she going to serve? But it became indispensable, because in the end, she not only served all of them, very, she was so efficient in her nursing training. It is this is to us also, because although we have a lamp lighting ceremony, we always quote Sarada Devi, Bharati Pranaji, and her way of life. She came when she was asked by, she was trained by Sarat Maharaj. Soon after the demise of Holy Mother, Sarat Maharaj took over the guidance of Sarada Devi. You see how the thing, it's all divine planning. There's no human planning here. Holy Mother passes away. When Holy Mother passes away, Sarada Devi says, oh, you're going away and you're leaving me behind. What will I do? I've got nobody. Then Holy Mother tells her, no, you have got some work to do for me. So already planned what work Bhakti Pranaji has to do. Then Sarat Maharaj takes over and looks after her. After Sarat Maharaj passes away, he gave her sannyas. And After he passed away, just imagine, during those days, 27 years, she did sadhana. You cannot imagine. Sadhana means actually very strict sadhana. In Manikarnika Ghat, she used to go there. Khali does she eat? So just imagine who was the first president of Sarada Math, the Brahmagyani. Through and through the Brahmagyani and direct disciple of Holy Mother. So if you see the foundation of Sarada Math, you cannot imagine from which roots it is coming. And that's what Swamiji said, Gandhis and Maitris will be born in the future, making Holy Mother as the Shakti from whom Gandhis and Maitris will come. What was the very simple answer of Bharati ji to Shankaranandaji Maharaj? He says, no, I won't go there. Reason being, all of them are educated. I am not so educated like them. Mukti Pranaji, all of them are educated. Moksha Pranaji, Mukti Pranaji, Srata Pranaji, you just see the education. They look very simple, but they are highly educated. So she says, I can't go and go there because all those sisters are all educated. You know the answer of Shankaranandaji Maharaj? He says, just be the life you led with Holy Mother. Let them see what is a simple spiritual life that you led with Holy Mother. And that is what she did. She did in Sarada Math. It was a nascent Sarada Math, but you can see that she led a very, very, very simple life, but complete surrender to Holy Mother. And they could see it in front of them. What is a life which is complete surrender to Holy Mother? And don't forget, this young group are coming up. Then in 1959, they were given sannyas by Swami Shankaranandaji Maharaj in the old shrine of Belur. That means Boroma became Bhaktiprana ji, and then the others were Bharati Pranaji, Moksha Pranaji, Mukti Pranaji, Vidya Pranaji, Srata Pranaji, Daya Pranaji, and Veda Pranaji. They were the first 8 sannyasinis of Sri Sarada. So it is very surprising when you just see the foundation of Sri Sarada. We were actually very fortunate to have seen these Matajis and the way they lived their life. Now in 1960, these 8 sannyasinis they became the trustees of Sarada Math, and in 1960 they became the governing body of the Ramakrishna Sarada Mission Association. Then in 1961, Matri Bhavan was officially transferred to Ramakrishna Sarada Mission. So this is more or less the history. And you can see the role that Bhakti Pranaji played in the formation of Sarada Math, because she was a trustee, plus member of the governing body, plus also coordinating how the nascent organization will grow up. They had, it's not a joke, 8 sterling characters were guiding the organization. And at the top of it all was Bharati Pranaji. Now, the second part, Bhakti Pranaji's spiritual personality. What can we learn from such a noble life? A noble life which has realized her own inherent divine nature. It's not an ordinary life. She was working in the hospital. When she was working in the hospital, for her, the hospital was not a hospital. It was a temple. And the patients in the hospital were not patients. They were mothers. And they were manifestations of the divine. So when she goes up to the hospital, the way we will do as we enter a shrine, we will touch the first step as respect and regard for the deity that stays inside the temple. She will touch the first step. And even Sheva Pranaji, her assistant, told me, when you go to Matri Bhavan, touch the first step of the hospital. Because you know you are entering a shrine. You are not entering a hospital. So your mental attitude is changing. Mental attitude is changing for Sheva. It is not just going up as a commercial hospital who I will shout and scream at. That is not the attitude, it is an attitude of Sheva. Sheva realizing that the divinity stays within you. And she would also tell the other members, the nurses also. The nurses are very simple, but she would tell the nurses how exactly they should conduct themselves. And you'll be surprised, the food of going to the patients, they were served first. Nobody could eat before the patients. She would taste the food herself. Was it too spicy? Was it too hot? And perfect food will go to the patients upstairs. Patients were also very, very happy to see Borma. Because actually what happens is that a person who has managed to realize their own inherent divine nature, they emanate peace, they emanate good vibrations. So when I go to a patient who is suffering or in pain, automatically I bring those peace vibrations. And they're so happy. Half the things they might not tell the doctors, but they tell everything to her. Crying, this thing and all that. She will patiently listen to them and give a very this thing, what is their problem, calm them down, and then she will leave. Even if any of the monastic folk, staff folk, if they are ill with something, maybe fever, whatever it is, she will be by their side. She will be by their side and she will herself make sure that they are well before she leaves them. So she was a pillar of strength. Now how was it that Borma was able to do all this? Even initially when there were no staff, when the hospital was new, it was only Sheva Pranaji, Aratima and Borma were the only two workers. So they start their routine, cleaning bedpans, cleaning the toilets of the hospital, and then they go, have a bath, change their clothes, and then they go and become nurses of the hospital. So you just imagine what a range of work they are doing. Unless you are spiritually attuned, it's not possible to do this type of work. Only two of them. But then slowly their mental attitude was so dedicated to the divine that it was possible to do it. But one thing I noticed, even at the latter part of her life, when I used to ask her, because she doesn't talk much, Borma, I said, but she used to say something over and over again. She says, when I first came to Matrivaman, I was not very happy. Again, I was coming to a hospital setup. I had thought that I could spend the whole of my life in contemplation, in prayer. Here I was coming to a hospital full of patients, full of people with problems. Then Bharat Maharaj of belur, you must be knowing Bharat Maharaj, Swami Abhayanandaji Maharaj. He says, you know what Thakur had said? Thakur has said, be like a etopatha. Wherever the wind tosses this etopatha, it can be on good ground, it can be on bad ground. But the etopatha is not affected. Similarly, know that everything is mother's work. She can keep you in a good place, she can keep you in a bad place. Wherever she keeps you, completely surrender to the divine. I saw that in Borma. She completely surrendered to the Holy Mother. There was no two words. And she did this to the last breath of her life. Now, apart from the meticulous rounds that she used to do, her compassionate nature, because of the feelings she had evolved for humanity, was beyond all comparison. Sometimes we used to get a little annoyed and say, my goodness, why is she doing this or why is she doing that? Because they are not so involved. There were some scavengers who used to come later on to clean the toilets of the hospital, but they used to drink like anything. And then they drink, and then their liver is damaged and all that. But Boroma never scolds them. She goes to the kitchen and she cooks some very nutritious food and gives it to them. Never scolds them. She is hoping that by giving nutritious food to them, they will understand that drink is not everything. There's another part of life also. You get nutritious food, you got a good job, so give up drinking. Other times what we used to see is that even mentally deranged people used to come to the hospital to see Boroma. This also used to annoy us a lot. There was one girl, my goodness, she would come into Matri Bhavan looking for Boroma. And we are on the alert how to push her out of Matri Bhavan. But somehow she manages to get Boroma, and Boroma also knows that we are there to push this girl out. So Boroma makes sure she comes in. And what does this girl do? She is mentally gone. She will hold on to Boroma's feet and going on, talking, and after some time she starts singing. She keeps on singing, at least 1 hour will go. No problem. Boroma very patiently listens to her. At least she knows the difficulty that is going on in that girl's brain. She must assuage it. She must keep that girl calm. After 1 to 1.5 hours, the girl gets up happily after some process and goes on. And she looks at us very happy. Mane, I have overcome you people. You people thought that you will stop me, but you have not succeeded. So in this way, there was similarly a doctor also who was a little not quite normal. So there, we being doctors, we try to prevent him going to Boroma. My goodness, 1 hour, 2 hours you sit in front of Boroma and go on talking. And when he goes back to the hospital, he'll look at me and say, Dekachan, I was able to talk to Boroma. I said, my goodness, you're very lucky. We don't bother talking to you, but you manage because she's full of compassion. But she cannot tolerate somebody is having suffering. She just cannot tolerate it. Then in the slums, there were all these small children running around. She will make sure food is given to them, coaching classes are done for them, because they all go to government schools, which are not of a very good standard. So here coaching classes plus food from Matri Bhavan makes them a little stronger education-wise and nutrition-wise, and they go to the government schools. Moreover, she noticed that some girls who were a bit older, around 14, 15 years, they were getting into bad company because of lack of jobs. So she started a Sahika Shevika course. It was Boroma's intention. Now these girls were asked to come to Matri Bhavan, completely free, and they were taught a Sahika Shevika nurse assistant course. They were trained in nursing, proper, but they were not registered nurses, but nurses are a huge shortage in Bengal. So it was okay. They got good jobs, not only in Matri Bhavan, PNS hospital took them, other corporate hospitals took them, so they got a good salary. Then when I go to PNS hospital, I see some of them come running towards me. They said, Mataji, the way we used to work in Matri Bhavan, PNS hospital is not like that. I said, why, what's wrong? We have to work from morning to evening. In Matri Bhavan we get a little rest because you people are considerate. I said, Dekun, you get a very good salary from PLS. You put it into your bank, you can look after your parents, you can look after the siblings. So why? You have to work hard for a few years. Your bank balance will be good. Matri Bhavan can't give you money like that. Then they will calm down. And again they will run and do the work in these corporate hospitals. Corporate hospitals are very demanding from the employees. Then we have an incident occurred where one baby was stolen from Matri Bhavan. You must have heard about that incident. Actually what happened, I had just joined the Matriban hospital at that time. So I didn't know the Bengali language, but I knew there was a lot of commotion going on. Actually with these chadars on, a baby was taken under the chadar of that particular person and taken out of the hospital. So the guards did not know there was a baby under that chadar. Then when they took, immediately when it came to Boroma's ears, she went into complete isolation for 3 days. No food, no nothing. Completely immersed in prayer. For her Holy Mother was everything. And miraculously, after 3 days, the baby was caught. And you know how the baby was caught? You were so surprised. There is a network. They steal these babies and send them abroad for trafficking. They get a lot of money. Now, so when they steal babies from hospitals, they immediately send them to the rural Bengal because nobody will know. Police can't trace it. And babies, no, newborn babies. But you see how things should happen. A farmer, he was going to buy his goods and sell his goods in the local market. As he was passing by an isolated house, a dilapidated house, he heard the crying of a baby. He was surprised. He says, nobody lives in this house. And just think, that baby should cry at that time. You see how things work out. You can't call all these coincidence. And he says, oh, there's nobody in this building. So how is it that a baby is crying? He went, he's a poor man. What happens is those days newspapers were put across a board. So you can go and read the newspaper. And he read it that there was a hospital in Calcutta that has lost a baby. So he went and told the police, there's somebody inside that building. So the police cordoned off that building and they found a baby there. And they brought the baby to Calcutta. And then they immediately called us. Actually, Matriban at that time had a special, when we cut the cord, we have a special lining to prevent the bleeding from the cord. So when we took the pediatrician, he immediately realized that this was the thing, this was our baby. Then the baby was brought to the mother. Mother obviously didn't know it is her baby. So she was very happy, and that day happened to be Mahalaya. Then we told Boroma, she was extremely happy that at least the baby has been found. Now, what happened a few days later, from Manipur court, people came. An officer came and said, he sent you 2-3 summons. You are supposed to go to court. The court has summoned you. Why didn't you go? So Boroma said, she kept quiet. Then he says, you have committed a great offense. You have insulted the court by not going to court when he have called you 2-3 times. Then Boroma said, I did not realize. Then she says, you will be punished. Then she says, what is my punishment? You will be arrested. So you know what Boroma said? She put out her hand. Arrest me. Arrest me. And take me. The police officer was so shocked from Manipur court. He just saw the sincerity, paid his respects to Boroma and went nothing. You see, this is truthfulness, spiritual strength. These are not ordinary qualities. These are special qualities in a human being. Then one gentleman, we have quite numerous of these examples. One gentleman came to this thing for his wife's delivery. He didn't have much money. So then Boroma said, how much have you got? He said, 10 rupees. He says, it's okay. You give me the 10 rupees and you go home. We will do the delivery. That's how everything was done. But 10 rupees, mind you. That is nothing for a delivery. And once I remember, I went to Boroma I said, Boroma, we have booked cases. We go through the cases properly and then only we admit. Then I told Boroma, there's quite a crowd outside Matri Bhavan. Maybe an accident has occurred, but inside the taxi there is a lady who is in labor pain. But she is not a patient of Matri Bhavan. So what should we do? So she looked at me surprisingly, as if, obvious thing, why am I not doing? So I also looked at Boroma and I was a little puzzled. So what are you doing? She said, bring the patient into the hospital immediately. If she's booked or she's not booked is not the case. She's in labor pain. So quickly I didn't even have time to take her to the upstairs of the hospital where our labor room is. She delivered downstairs, but safely delivered, and then we kept her in the hospital for a few days. Boroma did not bother about was she financially stable or not, was she a booked case or not. For her, humanity was humanity, which nowadays humanity is not humanity. That thing has gone, but this I saw it so many examples of how Boroma has dealt with people is beyond my imagination. Then the quality of not finding fault with others, because Holy Mother had said, that was the last thing Holy Mother said to a devotee. If you want peace of mind, do not find fault with others. Rather see your own fault. The world is what is your own. No one is a stranger. Now Boroma practiced this. And you could see she did not find fault with anybody. Because I was surprised. Sometimes I used to get a little annoyed. I said, Boroma, can you see at that gate those scavengers, Jamadanis, they're taking money from the party. That's why they're not in the hospital cleaning the bathroom. So she says, Bacha, she calls her Bacha. Bacha, তুমি ভিতরে এসো, ওখানে থাকা তো হবে না। So I said, ওখানে থাকা তো হবে না, এগুলো তো টাকা নিয়ে খাওয়া হচ্ছে না। So she said, তুমি ভিতরে এসো তো, এদিকে ওদিকে থাকাচ্ছ কিনা। মানে her feeling for them. Then one day one nurse was a little naughty, we do night duty and all that. And surprisingly, I saw that the blood pressure, when you see the blood pressure, you will know that if it is proper blood pressure or it is written blood pressure. So when I saw it during the night, I knew that this is written blood pressure, not taken. So I asked the mother, did anybody come and take your pressure? She said no. Then I went immediately in the morning to Boroma. I said, Boroma, Boroma, this happened in the hospital. So then she told me, she listened very patiently to everything. Then she told me, you will not understand these things. You come from a very good family setup, but there were some girls who were very poor. This is the only money they have to make everything neat. They look after the family. They earn this money through hardship. So in that sense, little things they will do. So why you keep on looking at everything? I said, Mataji, if something happens to the patient, she said, nothing will happen to any patient. Mother is there. Mane, what feelings? I was thinking she feels to this extent. Mane, so many people were trained in Matri Bhavan who later became nurses. They were not registered nurses, but they were so dedicated to the nursing profession and also to the organization because of the love that Boroma had for them. Regarding my reminiscences, there are few incidents that were especially close with my dealings with Boroma. So here, I first met Boroma because I used to come from once in a way from abroad to India, because at that time I was not an Indian citizen. Then I met Boroma in Kashi. She goes very often to Kashi. Then somebody told me that she's a sannyasini from Sarada. Then I went and talked to her, and she invited me to Matri Bhavan. And the way she talked to me so lovingly, it was her motherly affection during that visit that formed a very loving bond, and that inspired me to lead a life of dedication to God realization. She had that power to attract people. At that time she spent 60 years of her life in Matri Bhavan. I'm talking about an incident that occurred at the initial stages. Then while I was at Matri Bhavan, I told her, Mataji, I want to go into shrine work, because I've never done shrine work, so I want to learn. So she says, I have got enough of people for the shrine, but I have got no doctors for the hospital, you will go upstairs. I was very disappointed. I said, my goodness, I've been working as a doctor abroad, and again I come here and work as a doctor. I'd like to do some Shiva to Thakur and Ma. She says, no, that is not your place. Your shrine is the temple, and your deities are the patient. Get this into your mental plane, then you will change your mental attitude, and you will find joy in serving the divine. And this is what I got, because even now, to this very day, I don't do service in the shrine. Even you'll be surprised to know, as a sadhu, I have not been given the chance of doing arati. But my arati is occurring in the hospital. So she was very determined about these things. But she had some very clear ideas, so we also could understand these things. Then when I used to go for ward rounds with her, she used to tell me it will be sharp 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock, not 8:05. If it is 8:05, she has left you and she has gone for the round. So before 8 o'clock, I'll be there. Then she comes, my goodness, she belongs to the older generation, don't forget, people belong to the modern generation. Immaculately dressed with a watch. With a watch to see how long the round goes on. I used to look at her watch and I said, my goodness, this elderly lady, she has a watch also. Because I couldn't understand, and she's a sadhu too. And for us, we come from the Western countries. Then she go for a round, and when she goes for a round, every patient she knows. And she talks to them, finds out their problems, then she, at the same time, she makes sure that they don't have any difficulty. Do they want any books to read? Do they want any extra food? Do they want anything? Mani, she made them feel so homely, I can't tell you. And meanwhile, what happens is that if any doctor or nurse, staff comes, she will ask them, how are you? How is your family? What are the family problems? I thought, my goodness, there are 2 rounds going on. One is the patient or mother's round, and the other one is the staff round. And the doctors won't leave Boroma. As a routine, they'll go to her and say, Ma, apni jane ajke eta hoyeche. Then Boroma will listen. Boroma will listen, okay, don't worry. When it is over, I'm coming to your house. She'll go. There is another round. She'll go to the rounds of the staff also. She won't listen to us, my goodness. What she wants to do, she will do. And everything is oriented around compassion feeling to another human being. On being in duty in the hospital, what has happened is I have noticed sometimes during labor, during operation, suddenly the patient becomes very critical. Then they are running around, doctors are running around, we are running around. I can see Boroma patiently seated at the center table, very quietly seated at the center table. Then when she sees me running around, once or twice she will ask me, what is the condition of the patient? I said, Mataji, not very good. Then she says, have such and such doctors come? I said, yes, they have come, they are inside the labor room. Said, okay. Then again I find the patient is a little bit better. Then I come outside to the center table to tell her, no Boroma. So I asked the sister, where is Boroma gone? So they say she has gone to her room. And she has closed the door. closed the door, gone to a room to pray to Holy Mother for the well-being of that patient. For her, it was Holy Mother and herself, nobody else. Then there was another, incident where intrauterine deaths, actually intrauterine death is a death that occurs inside the uterus of the mother. And 70% of the intrauterine deaths are not known in the whole world, globally. It is not known. It's not due to cauterized neck or anything like that. It is not known why the baby suddenly dies inside the uterus. So this happened to one of our patients. So you'll be surprised, there were 50 mothers from locality wanting to come and meet Boroma. Boroma, in this case, she was extremely bold. She says, I will go and meet those 50 irate women. So I thought, I also would like to see how she manages an irate woman, an angry woman. I don't know. I also can learn. So she looked at me and she said, I said, Boroma, I'm a Japo. She said, no, you will not come with me. I will go alone. I said, and that is so what I did. Is that I also have to learn, so others where I did learn. So when she entered the main office room and she sat down, I quickly ran and sat down beside her. When she looked at me, she was quite annoyed. And she said, Tumi eschcho? I said, ha. Then she said, একটা কথা বলবে না, একটা কথা বলবে না। আমি ভাবছি আমি কি বলবো? কথা বলে আমি বলবো কি? I said, না না বলো না, আমি কথা বলবো কেন? Then I sat, my goodness, it was an experience. The way those 50 women shouted at Boroma, I could not imagine. They were extremely angry. They felt that it was due to her carelessness that the baby died inside the uterus. Boroma allowed them to vent out their anger. Then she told them in very plain English and with a lot of compassion. This comes from a spiritual person, not from an ordinary person. She told them, can you imagine the pain I am going through? You people cannot imagine. There is one mother leaving this hospital without her baby. You cannot imagine the torture I am going through. One day I was surprised. All these women shouting and screaming. Pin drop silence. There must have been a spiritual vibration that went over that whole group of people. Pin drop silence. Then one by one they got up and they left the room. I myself was flabbergasted that such things can happen. It's a good teaching to us that depending on the divine, Thakur, Holy Mother, miracles can occur. Then we had to do an extension to the hospital, second floor. Now this hospital is an old hospital that is now, the present hospital is around 72, 73 years old. So we had to do an upper floor to the hospital. So when we were going to do an upper floor to the hospital, the architects and all that said the upper floor will have operation theatres, intensive therapy units, high dependency unit, and diagnostic unit. Heavy equipments will be coming into the second floor. So we have to strengthen the ground floor. So I said, go ahead. He always mentioned it to Boroma. Boroma said, go ahead. Then they were going to this, what they do is like this mosaic, same type of mosaic. Then you have to break the mosaic and go deep and put iron beams inside the mosaic to support the second floor. This is dragging down on the ground floor. So I got a nice chair for her with a cushion and all that, and I said, Boroma, you come. We are going to start with the theme. So she said, Bacha, amake kotokon okane thakte hobe? I said, 15 minutes. After that you can go back, but you must be there at the beginning. She came along. Then after that, After she came, she sat down and I told the engineers, you please stop the work. It was very tough. It's an old building though. So the mosaic, to break that mosaic, my goodness. Then they were going around, it was taking some time. Then I just looked back and saw the chair empty. I thought, my goodness, 15 মিনিটও হয়নি, 5 মিনিটে উঠে চলে গেল। So then I went to her room. আচ্ছা বর্মা কি হয়েছে? শরীর খারাপ লাগছে? Just silent. Just silent, no answer. I said, she talks very little. আচ্ছা বর্মা কি হয়েছে? আপনি আসুন তো, ওখানে তো কাজ হচ্ছে, এত বড় কাজ হবে, আপনাকে বসতে হবে ওখানে। When you sit only, it gives blessings to the future of this hospital. Big units are going to be done. And she says, বাচ্চা আমি পারবো না। I thought, my goodness, পারবো না মানে? সঞ্জয় আপনার কি হয়েছে? আপনি এরকম করছেন কেন? বলছেন আমি পারছি না, আমি ওখানে যেতেই পারবো না। আচ্ছা কি শরীর খারাপ? না, প্রত্যেকবার whenever the engineer hits that blow, I get pain. I get pain. Shanga Murati Sri Ramakrishna, to what extent they have identified themselves with Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna Sangha is unbelievable. That somebody can feel pain when an institution belonging to them, it is for the betterment of the institution. But she just could not tolerate it. She just could not tolerate it. Then I said, ঠিক আছে বর্মা, আপনি এখানে থেকে আপনি প্রার্থনা করুন বর্মা, আমি ঠিক করবো। So then I went and then supervised their work, and then she stayed there and prayed. But it took me back. I thought, my goodness, they can identify themselves with a building. This is the way we look at it. But actually, they are on a completely different level. They are on a high spiritual level, which we cannot imagine that people can be on this high spiritual level. And that comes through complete identification with Holy Mother and Thakur. Otherwise, it's not possible. Then on another occasion, Borma called me. She reads the newspaper, mind you. She called me and she told me, you have to go to the family and health department. I said, for what for? Okane, I have seen there's going to be a public-private partnership where they are going to start auxiliary nurse midwifery training with the government, because the government is short of nurses. So you will go. So I said, Rami, Okane geye ki korbo? So she said, go and tell them that Matribama is also interested. I said, Bharma teacher hobe na. Apnar jayga kothay? You need a school of nursing. You need faculty members. এখানে তো কিচ্ছু নেই। So আপনি আমাকে পাঠাচ্ছেন কেন? She got very angry with me. Very angry with me. Then she looked at me and she said, তুমি এখানে কি করতে এসছো? আচ্ছা মানে কি করতে এসছি মানে? I come here and join the order. I come here to serve. Swamiji কাজ করতে এসছো তো? আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ। I was a little surprised. অচিনি তুমি ঘুমাতে এসছো? ঘুমাবে খাবে? আচ্ছা কেন আমি ঘুমাবো খাবো? সেটা না, হেলথ ডিপার্টমেন্টে চলে যাও। I sat in the health department for 3 hours. Then I asked one of the PMs, can you give me that paper that is on your table? The director was very busy. And I thought there were 4-5 sheets of requirements for the school of nursing. Then I told the PM, I sat here for 3 hours, আমি উঠে পড়ছি, এর মধ্যে একটাও জিনিস আমাদের নেই। She said, Mataji, you have sat here for so long. In 5 minutes, the director is very nice. I think after 5 minutes, the director called me. Then he told me, then I said, I'm very sorry to disturb you. I can see you're very, very busy organizing this public-private partnership scheme. But I realized that we don't have all the requirements. So he looked at me and he says, oh, you want to do a public-private partnership with us, the government? I said, yes, this is what our secretary চাইছে. Then he says, ঠিক আছে, তোমার একটা ঘর আছে? আচ্ছা, না, একটা ঘর আছে। ঠিক আছে, না? Today is the last day when we give money, a deposit we have to give. And they said, so immediately I went and gave the deposit, then I came back. It's a long way. Sarada Bhavan is in Salt Lake. So I came back very happy. After the young people too. So I went happily into Bhavana's room, expecting some note of appreciation. Either not of appreciation or a lozenge or something, because it's a big achievement. This is what I felt. She just looked at me, no answer. She looked at Holy Mother and continuously went on looking at the picture of Holy Mother, completely immersed in meditation. Now what was I to do? Standing there, I left the room. I left the room. Money prepared, everything is through Holy Mother. These things, slowly, it started inculcating into our system that Holy Mother chara, Thakur chara, ekhane kichu hoy na. Now, thanks to her blessing, she is the founder secretary, plus the founder of the School of Nursing, and I'm happy to tell you we have got a College of Nursing also now. So degree and diploma courses in BSc and in GNM are being done. Then the other ones, because Burma is very quiet, so she was vice president, but she was in Mathura, but now aging. So actually they are not that experienced. So I went once. Alokprana Mataji was the president of Sarada. And you know, she's quite lovable, talkable. You people know, you're all devotees, so you know. So I went up to her and I said, Mataji, apni ekta kaj korben? So she said, ki korbo? We were very friendly with them. So apni matrimonyar jonno ekটু প্রার্থনা করবেন? So she said, কেন, কি হয়েছে তোমার hospital? So I said, না, জানেন তো অত রকমের পেশেন্ট থাকবে, কি হচ্ছে না হচ্ছে বলা যায় না। So she said, না, ওখানে তো বড়মা বসে আছেন, তুই বড়মাকে বলছি না কেন? I said, বড়মাকে আমি কি বলবো? ও তো কিছু বলে না। So বলছেন, তুমি গিয়ে বড়মাকে বলবে, বড়মার একটা হটলাইন আছে। So I said, আচ্ছা, হটলাইন আছে, গিয়ে বলবে, তুমি দেখবে বড়মা কি উত্তর দেবে। So I also very innocently I went up to বড়মা। I said, বড়মা, আপনি একটু মাকে একটু বলবেন আমাদের হসপিটাল সম্বন্ধে? শুনলাম আপনার একটা হটলাইন আছে। উনি বলেছেন এই কথা, কে বলেছে তোমাকে? So I said, Alokprana Mataji, উনি বলেছেন আপনার হটলাইন আছে। She kept quiet. They are at a different level. Then she got hold of me. She says, তোমার না কি রকম আছে? So I will tell the truth too. I said, why disconnected? Then ও বলছেন, লজ্জা করে না? সাধু হয়ে লজ্জা করে না এ কথা বলো? তোমার লাইন মার সঙ্গে ডিসকানেক্টেড আছে? I thought, my goodness, if she says that means her line with Holy Mother is connected? She got annoyed with me when I said disconnected. So from that statement itself I found they have got a connection with Holy Mother. She was not yet the president of the order. So here we always find their natures are completely unbelievable. Now when I think of the time I had with her once, an assistant general secretary, Bhajananandji Maharaj, wanted to meet her. So I said, বড়মা, আপনি একটু আসুন বেলুর মাঠে অফিসে, ওদের মিশন অফিসে, মহারাজ আপনার সঙ্গে দেখা করবেন। তারপরে ঠিক আছে, she came. Then after that, she didn't come out of the vehicle. So I said, Maharaj is going to be a little late, but told that you can sit in his office. Then she said, no, আমি গাড়ি থেকে নামবো না। I thought, my goodness, now what have I done wrong? I don't know. Then she says, ওখানে মাতৃবানে একটা আলোকপ্রানা আছে তো, I'm Alokprana. So she says, ওখানে একটা মাতৃবানে একটা আলোকপ্রানা আছে। So So I thought, no, what have I done wrong? So she says, ওখানে আমি যা লাল বারান্দাতে বসে সেই আলোকপ্রাণা ওখানে একটা গাছ আছে সামনে, সেই গাছকে কেটে দেবে, জানেন? সেই গাছকে কেটে দেবে, একটা লিফট করবে। আমি বললাম একটা লিফট তো আছে, ও আমার কথা শুনবে না, বলবেন হসপিটালে দুটো লিফট থাকতে হবে, যদি একটা লিফট খারাপ হয় তাহলে আরেকটা লিফট কাজ করবে। সেখানে আমার মন বেশ খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। এখন আমি বেলুর মধ্যে বসে সব গাছ দেখবো, সব প্রত্যেক গাছ আমি দেখবো। She was a lover of nature, birds, everything. So she sat in the vehicle and when looked at all the huge trees, so in Belur, she looked at all the trees and I thought, my goodness, আমি ভাবছি একটা গাছের জন্য এই আমার অবস্থা, and that in the end we had to have that built. But then what to tell you, the way they are one with nature, so for them the way a hospital runs and the way they think is very different. But maybe once we get used to being one with the divine, then that's a different, we also will see something different. Then in spite of busy hospital schedules, she will go by any relief that is needed anywhere. Once actually she was having malaria. Then at that time I went up to her and I said, Mama, একটু blood দিতে হবে। সে কিসের জন্য blood দিতে হবে? I said, আপনার তো বেশ হাই ফিভার আছে, একটু দেখতে হবে তো আপনার malaria আছে কিনা। So she said, very reluctantly she gave her hand and I quickly took the blood. Now after that I saw malaria positive, so I was ringing up the doctor. She was in another building, mind you. Now the fever is 104, going up to 105. So then I went to another building to ring up for a doctor. But she had come. She was behind my back. I basically died of shock. How with 105 fever she could come to this building, I don't know. She had to be happy to pour culture. I said, my goodness. I said, Kaki Poko, better hospital to Archie Parkanse, but you are holding up some doctors. So I said, okay, to hospital problem, so was an answer. Then she was actually feeling very shaky, so we made her lie down in the whole room, in the office room. Then ice pack and bring down the fever. Then we took her to, then in the afternoon she came down, she was a little semi-conscious. Then she came down, she said, where am I? I want to go to my room. I said, yes. Then I was afraid if she collapses, going to the room, I thought 1 or 2 days let her stay in this building. But no, strong mind, no, strong willpower. She went there and she told me, don't touch me. I can walk on my own. I don't need any help. You see, the strong determination, strong willpower. Then we went there, I called for the doctor, and within 2-3 days we were supposed to go for relief work in Orissa. Then when the doctor said, look, you have got malaria, Boroma, it's better that you take it out, tell somebody else to go. Then she told the physician, if you don't give me permission to go for this relief work, you don't have to enter my hospital. That's the end of you. You will not be employed in this hospital anymore. What is Tapaswal going to say? Then she told me, get everything ready, train loads of things, went to Orissa. And then very good relief work was done there, people were very happy. Then on another occasion, we did relief work in a rural Bengal, and she got a whole lot of boats full of material going across the flooded area. The boat that Boroma was in started sinking. The water was coming up very quickly. So we got hold of Boroma and brought her out. By that time her clothes were all wet. And then she told the men in the group, you go ahead with all this and give it to the poor people. And I was surprised her presence of mind. It's a village, mind you. You don't know villagers. She happily entered a house. She doesn't know anybody in that house. And she said to the lady of the house, you give me a sari, her belur is completely gone. you give me a sari. That day he's not having belur. So she went somewhere and then some mother got a white sari and gave it to Boroma. Then Boroma sat down, called us, and she said, start buttons. Start buttons, we're going to do buttons. Then after that lady gave some rice and a little vegetable, and Boroma ate that. She was so happy. Mother, you won't think that she was in a predicament. So that's what we have found, that to work with Boroma is actually working with a realized soul. So they don't find any problem anywhere. Now when Boroma became president, this is the final stage. As she becomes a president of the order, we got an outwardly very strict Boroma. But when she became president of the order, she was extremely motherly. Very, very motherly. And I was surprised because we never got her like that. She was very strict with us. I also have got scoldings from Boroma for the betterment of our own spiritual life. So what do we find that when she is in this mood for a couple of years or so, when she, in the year 2009, she went to Sarada as a president. At the latter part of her life, what happened is she was only immersed in the thought of Thakurana. So I wanted to share these very sacred thoughts with you. Is that there were some sannyasinis doing duty with her, obviously day duty, night duty. Night duty, all the time she does not have sleep, because after a certain age, at that time she was 102. It is not easy to have sleep at that time. So in the night she used to be awake. Then when they questioned her, she asked the sannyasini, have you seen Thakur? She was asking the sannyasini. The sannyasini said no. Have you seen Ma? The sannyasini said no. Then the sannyasini asked, have you seen Thakur? Have you seen Ma? She said yes. I have seen Thakur, I have seen Ma. And this is how do they look? Then she says, appearance is difficult to say, but you experience a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. While you're touching the source of all purity, you're touching the source of all joy. Then she said, they told her, what should we aspire for? Then she said, pointing to her heart, Mother is here. I am pointing to her own heart. Mother is here. Apart from this, I do not know anything else. I think of nothing other than this. Mother will never leave me. Mother is there and so am I. And I have nothing to worry about. So in this way, on various occasions she told her Shevikas, love Thakur and Ma and always think of them. Know that whatever you do is the work of Thakur and Ma. If you do not practice their constant remembrance, you will become egoistic, proud and angry, even for trivial reasons. Why? Because of their aham. The aham is not going to allow you to manifest your own inherent divine nature. The more you surrender to Holy Mother, the more the divinity shines from you. After you are the Atman, it is not something false. So this is what basically, they have come to the level where they are one with the Atman. So there is no aham, self-effacement, self-surrender. Perfection is the practice, this is a spiritual sadhana, and it does not come overnight. This is what she said. Peace comes to those who practice remembrance. When one thinks of Mother, one's life becomes blessed and her heart expands. Think of Mother, dive deep, love Mother. She is the Mother of all. She can be seen. She can be seen. If there is intense yearning, Mother will surely come. Chant her name with great love. If you call upon Mother, she will certainly listen to you. Now, she had a high regard for Sarada because the foundation was laid by her Guru. Plus, she got training in Sarada, so she had always informed us that whenever I am seriously sick, you must take me to Sarada. Her last days were spent in Sarada, and be surprised to know that a whole lot of Maharajas from belur came to pay their respects to her. All the top Maharajas, because they know that she was the last disciple of a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Because I was there by the side of Parama, so I could see the number of senior Maharajas coming to take her blessings. From that, when I talk to some of these Maharajas, then she says, we are happy to have got her blessings. But then, she was the representative of Sri Sri Ma. Burma had made the whole world her own. No one was a stranger to her. She also left an indelible impression in our lives that Sri Sri Thakur, Sri Sri Ma are our only refuge, guide and support, and our one purpose in life is to realize our own inherent divine nature. After her Mahasamadhi, you'll be surprised to know her life was a very quiet life. It was not that she was waiting to put into various how to manifest it in various things. She never took lectures. For her, work was worship and her association with the Holy Mother. But after her Mahasamadhi, you'll be surprised to know that many personalities honored her. Condolence messages poured in from several quarters. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, in his tribute, he said, I pay my tribute to Pravrajika Bhaktiprana Endowment. She will always be remembered for her rich efforts to serve society through Sri Sarada and Ramakrishna Sarada Mission. My thoughts are all with all the members of the order and devotees. Om Shanti. The Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamatadi, I bear a heavy heart upon hearing of the demise of revered Pravrajika Bhaktiprana Endowment, 4th President of Sri Sarada and Ramakrishna Sarada Mission, an incomparable loss for all the followers of the order and the devotees at large. May she rest in everlasting peace. Mataji actually was the last among those who had been initiated by Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciples. She was also the last representative of the first batch of 8 sannyasinis of Sri Sarada. So it can be said that an important chapter in history had indeed entered with her. She, similar to her Guru, was also the 4th President of the order. At the end of her life, she knows Hindi, but at the end of her life she started talking in Hindi, similar to the way her Guru used to talk. At that moment, we did not realize that the end was coming. So it was she, as a human Guru, was about to merge with the Divine Guru. It is our sincere prayers that with her blessings, let us endeavor to realize our own inherent divine nature and to make this a reality in our lives. Jai Ma.